Hi, this is Terry, and I was involved in an accident with my bicycle almost 2 months ago on the 3rd of October. And so my recovery is going slow but sure, but I wanted to talk about my bicycle's recovery because it sustained some damage in the accident. I hit a dog, which catapulted me forward, which smashed in my shoulder, but it also did some damage to my bicycle. And so I'm going to talk about the major areas of damage that my bicycle sustained and what I'm doing to repair it. First off, the handlebars, the hoods, I've already started doing some work on it. This is Thanksgiving weekend, and my son-in-law Jake was here, and he helped me get these brake hoods on because the old brake hoods were pretty well thrashed in the process of hitting the ground. So these old brake hoods had to come off. I actually had to cut them to get them off because it's so difficult to get these things off. I watched all these YouTube videos on how to do it. None of them were super helpful. But what I did is I ordered new brake hoods off of Amazon, and my son-in-law was able to help me get them installed on. And recall, it requires heating them up with a hair dryer and then just muscling them on. And with my damaged shoulder, I didn't have the strength to do it. So my son-in-law was able to help me yesterday to get these things on. And it took both of us and all of our strength to get these things to stretch up and over and finally get them on the handlebars. Also, the handlebars were tweaked in on both sides, and so I've already fixed that. That's really an easy fix. You know, behind these hoods is an Allen screw that you can get to, and then you can adjust the angle in as well as their placement on the handlebars. This handlebar was damaged a little bit. I had to do some filing and some prying to get it rounded out so it was round again. I already had some Bontrager new gel cork handlebar tape. I just hadn't gotten around to installing it yet, so I'm thankful that I waited on that because the old handlebar tape was pretty well toast from scraping on the ground. And so that was a big bonus. Another awesome thing is I had just gotten this Night Rider headlight for this bike just probably 6 months or so ago, and it just sits up on the handlebar here. Thankfully, it did not receive even a scratch, so I'm so thankful that this thing is in good shape. The other thing I got damaged was my helmet. My head impacted the ground as well. Thankfully, I had a MIPS helmet, which I'm sure has saved my life because of that MIPS technology and my head slamming into the ground. So I recommend everybody to get a MIPS helmet, and a good quality one. I just replaced my helmet with a new one, a Fox helmet, that also has the MIPS technology. And I got this helmet from REI, and so it's all set and ready to go. It's quite adjustable. I can use it when I'm wearing a hat in the wintertime or in the summertime. So that was awesome. The other thing is I had built a light bar on the back of this bike after my last accident 8 years ago. So in order to create a much better visibility in the dark, I put a light bar on the back, and it's about 18 inches wide or so. And there's two very inexpensive lights that were on the ends that were basically totally thrashed in the accident. I think my light bar actually saved my bike from additional damage because the light bar took the brunt of the impact when the bike finally landed. I have no idea where it landed. I got knocked out. But those lights got pretty much destroyed. So thankfully, I've got these Axiom little lights that are going to go on the ends of the light bar that it actually had bought some time ago as backup lights just to have on hand. And I've been using the Axiom brand from performance.com for many years, and so they work great. They just take a couple of double or AAA batteries, of which I've got rechargeable batteries for these things. So I had these new ones on hand as backups for in case something happened. I would be able to quickly put on a new one, and here we are. I have these, so I didn't have to buy these actually. And another blessing is I had this Knight Rider Sentinel 250 in the center of the light bar. It did not get damaged at all. So I'm so thankful for that. And this thing puts out a very bright pulse. It goes bing, bing, poof. It's a very bright light. You can see this thing from space. Well, maybe not really, but it is visible for quite a distance, I've had many people tell me. So thankfully, I'm going to have to do some work on the light bar. You know, the ends are all scraped up. I'm going to have to take off the old little light mounts and install new ones, because those ones got broke too. And so thankfully these came with the lights, so I'm in good shape there. And then I'll just take the light bar off, you know, do some repair work to it, sand some areas down, and then repaint it, and then I can reinstall it. And I use zip ties actually to install it, because there's no place on the back of this Crossrip Plus to bolt a light bar onto it like I had on my previous bike before this one. And so it's just zip tied on. And I think that also was a blessing, because those zip ties were able to break during impact without damaging the rack itself. Now the other area of my bike that got damaged, obviously I hit a dog, a big pit bull, stray dog, that just zipped out in front of me out of nowhere, and I hit him because I was watching another dog on my right that would normally chase me, but it was kind of erratic, so I had my eyes on him. I was trying to accelerate away from that dog, and that's when the pit bull ran in front of me out of nowhere. Next time I'll have better situational awareness of what's going on around me. But the front wheel got knocked out of true a little bit, and if it wasn't for the fender on the front bike, it would spin just fine. But I'm going to have to get this wheel trued up, and the spokes all retensioned. There doesn't seem to be any damage to the rim itself. It just knocked out a true, and I've been successful in the past of bringing wheels worse than this back into true, and then using them for many years after that. In fact, this is kind of a side note. There's another bike behind me which was involved in an accident with a Chevy truck hitting me from behind back in 2016, and I was miraculously able to retrue the wheels on it, and actually I was able to get this bike back into riding condition, although I don't trust it. The frame is bent just a little bit. It kind of crabs as it goes down the street. So, but it was just okay, can I do this? And I was able to get it put back together and rideable. And so that's what I'm going to be doing in the future, is putting new bar tape on, truing the front wheel, repairing the light bar. And also I had just bought a set of these Ortlib panniers for the back of the bike, and on one side the pannier just got totally shredded, and the structural integrity of it was off, and I really wished that I had waited just 1 week before putting these new ones on, because the old ones I had on there were literally, the seams were falling apart on it. They weren't Ortlibs, they were a different brand, and of course they are quite ancient bags, so it's understandable that they're coming apart. But I put these on just literally the weekend before I crashed, and so thankfully I was able to get a new set of bags from REI, and so now I have 3 good bags and 1 bad bag. So I've actually got a backup bag for if anything, hopefully, and never will happen, but so anyway, so I'll be able to put these new bags on, and my bike will be ready to cruise once my body's ready to cruise, which I'm hoping to do by the 1st of January 2025 is when I hope to be able to be back on my bike riding again, fully healed, and my collarbone is broken 3 places, and one bone's poking up pretty good, so I'm just waiting to get a CT scan to see what's going to happen with that. So hopefully I'll be back on the road commuting with my bike to and from my office, 15 miles each way by January 2025. And so it's probably going to take me until then anyway to get this bike back fully operational because of my physical limitations of doing things right now. But I'm getting better, so I'm very thankful for that.